Hello everyone, welcome back to the Gamers Digester channel. Now, I've been seeing a lot of posts online, especially Reddit, where people have been saying that their shipping is getting delayed for the Asus ROG Ally. Now, most of us know if you have one pre-ordered, that date should be around the 13th of June. Some the 14th, which is what mine is, Wednesday, but a lot of those shipping delays have been coming from the UK. Now, there's been quite a few people who've gotten responses back from the team at Asus or from Best Buy saying that the reason they're expected to be delayed is just because they haven't received the shipment yet. Now, that was a few days ago, and we've gotten some replies back, and a lot of those have been quelled. So I would like to see you guys in the comments. Let me know what your shipping date is. Mine is set, as I said earlier, for the 13th, which for me is a Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure. I've seen some people say Monday, Tuesday. It kind of seems all over the place, and just when Best Buy gets their hands on these, they're going to be shipping them out immediately. So I wouldn't expect there to be many delays, but most of them are in the UK. But like I said, the worst one I saw was the 30th, and I just assume that might be worst case scenario for some people. The worst thing that I have seen so far, just regarding the Ally, is screen protector shipping. Almost all of them on Amazon, if you go check there, they're out like weeks. I think mine is set to be delivered at the latest is the 16th, the earliest the 16th, the latest the 30th. Now that's a pretty big time window, one, for my device to be unprotected. And another thing, we have not really heard any confirmation from big case brands or accessory manufacturers of cases. I mean, if you guys can't tell, I'm always decked out here with some sort of case, something that's got a stand on the back. And this is kind of a big deal for me. It's pretty crucial that I have my device protected and I have some way to stand it up. I'm not a big fan of the paper stand that they included with the device. I think that's pretty cheap. They maybe could have worked something else out, but at least it comes with something. Another thing I wanted to touch on, if you watched the Xbox showcase today, Game Pass is looking pretty good for Ally owners. One of my biggest complaints with the Steam Deck is the lack of Game Pass support on there. You really can't play Game Pass games unless you're running it off an SD card. Windows, I mean, which there's a lot of issues. Now, there's going to be some background noise. There's a really big storm going on, so I do apologize in advance if you guys hear any blowing or stuff knocking against the window there. But yes, there were lots of exciting games. Some games that I'm looking forward to. Path of the Goddess. I love Capcom. I've been loving Resident Evil series. All the remakes have been amazing. Street Fighter 6 has been one of my favorite handheld games to play. Now the controls on here, not the greatest. What have I been using? I've ended up using the PS5 controller. I think that doing combos and stuff like that, actually being able to do that, like hitting this and the side at the same time, it's a lot easier on this compared to the the D-pad that the Steam Deck has. It's not my favorite. It definitely does work. It's just not the greatest. The layout isn't perfect. But now the big thing, Starfield. Just from looking at that, now I've played No Man's Sky, I've played Destiny and Star Citizen, and now this kind of feels like it's got just a little bit of everything. It's got big Star Citizen aspects in there with the cities, but the biggest thing for me, if you caught on to what they were saying with the world won't be the same as somebody else's, big No Man's Sky. That is totally what they're doing. It's procedurally generated. They kind of just randomly drop things. If you join your buddy's world, you'll be able to interact with those things, but no world will be the same, essentially, which that can be good and bad. Bad for content creators, in my opinion, because if you're trying to make a video on how to get a certain item, and in the video you're telling them, oh, when you get to this planet, it'll be in some random area, just look around for it. It kind of makes things a little bit harder for content creators to try and make tutorials and videos like that. That's just what I'm guessing right off the initial looking at that game. So I really hope that it's not as random as it seems. Now back to the no updates on accessories. When the Steam Deck, if you're looking to get a Steam Deck now, The options that you have are incredible. I've got a back plate on the back here. You can kind of see it's see-through there. It's a completely see-through back plate. It's got a thermal pad on the back, and then it's got extra buttons that stick out, so you're able to click them a bit better. The case, the screen protector, I had some covers for the trackpad, some covers for the joysticks. All of that is super cheap, really easy to get your hands on. And I really hope, I've been messaging Supcase, I've been messaging other companies who make Steam Deck cases and accessories, trying to just get any feedback on when we're going to be seeing these, because I would love to have that protected on day one. When I purchased my Series X, the only thing that I had purchased alongside it, didn't have any games pre-ordered or anything. I had a D-brand skin that I made sure I put on first thing as soon as I got that. Just because I don't want any scratches or anything. It was a day one pre-order Xbox Series X. I want to make sure I can keep these things safe and protected, just for future generations, just down the line. I want to be able to have this, say I have this, show it to my kids, and have it work perfectly, and not have to look for secondhand on eBay or something to try and get one new. Something else that I thought was fairly interesting, I was reading up on, Asus is claiming they're working on a fix for the battery life. Now, you can take that many different ways, because the battery life issue, that's really on the hardware side. It's just a capacity thing, right? Like, yes, there's totally optimizations that they can make, but when you're looking at the 40 watt hour size battery, that's the same as the Steam Deck, and you have more performance on the Ally, it's just beefier. Like, there's only so much that you can do to try and get more battery life. So, but they say they're claiming on, I guess there's various optimizations that they can work on to try and make that a bit better. I'm excited to see what they can do, but honestly, there's so much that they can. And really it comes down to just having a spare battery, a power bank with you, or making sure an outlet is nearby. But I mean, I'm always open to see what they're up to. Asus is really under fire right now. If you guys have been keeping up with tech news, they've been having a lot of problems with their motherboards, overheating, exploding, CPU issues, stuff coming bent. There's all sorts of things, and I might be off on one or two of those, but if you just Google Asus right now, they are getting a lot of bad press. So it kind of makes me nervous now, having the Ally come out at the same time. That fingers crossed, you guys. A lot of the reviews have been good. Some have been biased, but some have been really good. As far as hardware issues, I haven't seen or heard of anything. It's mostly just been software. And the software, as in like the UI, the Armory crate that it will come with, that kind of looks a little bit like this, where you have access to all your games. That's been a bit buggy, but apparently they've been working that out. Now, I don't have a review model. I'm not sponsored by anybody at the moment. I'm not partnered with YouTube. So at the moment, for me, this is just speculation on what I've seen. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on this, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well. So yeah, expect them to be working on fixes for a lot of different bugs and battery life, performance. But again, just keep your expectations like really, really low, because I doubt there's a lot that they could do with that, unless it's just incredibly poorly optimized, which is just something that we can be upset at them for, but where it's not released out to the public. We'll just have to see when it gets there. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun so far with my Steam Deck. I'm looking forward to this next chapter of the Ally. I definitely, if I were to give some final thoughts, I think I'm going to make a video giving my final thoughts on the Steam Deck after owning it for a few months now, which is not as long as some other people have had it. They've had theirs since launch. I think the Steam Deck is a fantastic device. The specs, the cost, you can, if you're willing to do some modding, the cost is incredible to get. It's mostly just storage, right? Like if you want to just pop in a terabyte SD card, I mean, you're good to go. But if you want to mod it to have SSD, that requires a little bit more work and a little bit technical know-how. I think most consumers who are purchasing this are kind of in that older age range, who are not afraid to get their hands dirty and kind of have a bit more know-how. But I know there's probably some kids, maybe a little bit older community, who don't want to have to monkey with this, and I totally sympathize with you. I like to mod things, but I really appreciate it when things just work, you know? So, like with my Xbox, with all those things, I don't dare open those up. I don't really have a reason to. I don't want to have to do that. I love watching teardown videos to see how things work, but I don't want to accidentally mess something up and end up voiding my warranty. So, but the Steam Deck has been so fun. There's been so many games that just run flawlessly. Street Fighter runs great. Lies of P, if you've been keeping up with this game, there's actually a demo out right now that's free. It runs it so smoothly. Just turn on some FSR and you've got solid 60 FPS. That's really exciting. If you guys like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, this is going to be very similar to that. But yeah, I don't think most games will hit 120 FPS. Yeah, that's a little disappointing because for many reasons, but if you're trying to get the most out of the battery, I would just have the 120 FPS mode shut off anyways, just to try to conserve battery. But then why are you buying the Ally? There's a lot of things you could go back and forth with. If you want more performance, you're going to be killing the battery, but I'm definitely going to be making a video either today or tomorrow regarding my final thoughts on the Steam Deck and what I'm looking forward to from the Ally. This was just a general news video. I'm really excited for the future of this channel. You guys have been incredibly supportive. I thank all of my subscribers, everyone liking the video, everybody commenting. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. And hopefully I'll have another video out tonight talking about the Steam Deck and what I'm excited for from the Ally. But with that, thank you and have a good rest of your day.